Welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go. And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Ellie.
And
your friend for dinner, Tyler Hymanson.
Thanks for being here. We're so hungry, so we're excited that we have food tonight. Well, we're here continuing on with the Land Before Time franchise. We made it to number 5, right? 5 this week?
Yes.
V.
Number V. Whatever that means. It's lost to time.
Yeah, I am upset they didn't incorporate the V into the subtitle like Phantasm style.
Yeah. Those assholes.
It should have been the very mysterious island.
Oh, God. That would be too funny. Before we get into it here, we're not the only ones getting tortured by the Land Before Time this week. Tyler, who's here with us?
Yeah, we had to bring somebody across the big water with us. We have my good friend, engineering student and dinosaur enthusiast, Steve Williams, here to carry us through and maybe find some delicious vegetables for us to snack on.
How you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for being here, Steve.
No worries. It might seem like this is the first time you're meeting me, but I was always there.
Aww. He's the one who helps me sleep at night when I get scared. Oh, boy. Well, Steve, we're excited to hear your thoughts on all this. I think once we play the trailer, let's get into your thoughts on the franchise and stuff. But before we go too far again, Eliz, where can people reach out to us?
Yes, you can email us at sequelrights@gmail.com with your thoughts on this long franchise of films, or you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars goes a long way to helping other people find us. Also stars large, round, glowing discs in the sky, differently from the different glowing disc in the sky that happens at evening, just so we're clear on our dinosaur
I believe it's called the Night Circle. Jesus.
The Night Circle. My apologies.
Get it right. Get it right, God damn it. Okay. Oh, man. Well, I think it's about time we figure out what's going on in that very mysterious island.
What do you get when you combine fun, adventure, and intriguing tales with the world's most lovable bunch of dinosaurs? You guessed it, the newest release in the highly anticipated and always popular The Land Before Time series, The Land Before Time 5, The Mysterious Island. A story of hope and survival that leads Littlefoot and all his friends on a wondrous journey of discovery. But watch out, dangers abound.
Well, I can't wait to dive into another, part of the always popular Land Before Time
That's some big dick energy right there. Always popular.
I thought they were going to go into an Oompa Loompa song because he was like, what do you get when you combine dinosaurs and an island and a magical journey?
It's like, how many different ways can you be like an exciting adventure? Every week it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So Steve, you're new to this series that we're doing so far. So what is your background with the Land Before Time franchise? Have you seen any of these sequels or anything?
Not the sequels, no. I think I came in like a lot of you guys did, where I had seen the first one quite a bit as a kid. Liked it for a billion reasons. Obviously, one of the Bluth classics. Mm-hmm. But hadn't really seen any of the sequels. Had always heard about them. It had become this like mystery always in the background, like, oh, there's an 8, there's a 10, there's a 13. It's and yeah, so it was really intriguing to come back for 5. I've now seen part 1 and part 5.
Hey, that's not a bad place to be jumping in.
It really isn't.
Honestly, yeah, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad we could, this is an important life moment for you. You're finally getting to see one of these sequels, and I'm glad we could gift that to you here.
That's right.
I'll treasure it always.
Oh, my God.
We're doing a public service.
Yes.
Well, I think after we had maybe like 1 or 2, was it 1 or 2 movies that didn't start in space? Maybe just one.
It was just one movie that did not start in space.
We're back to space again.
And it's like almost in 3D.
I know. It was like, whoa, is this computer animated or what? It was, right?
Slightly. Yeah, slightly.
That was, yeah.
Did you love those like totally tasteful screen wipes that were meteors?
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys like went to Disneyland enough to like recognize this is like basically the opening of Captain EO as well, where there's just like a 3D rock for no reason, and they're like the cosmos, you know? Like, there's like a narrator, like
But at least then it was 3D, and you're like, whoa, the rock's slowly getting
it
closer.
Actually came out the screen, but oh boy.
I swear the dialogue of the narrator in this one is like the exact same as the previous movie.
It is, right?
Like they just cut it up and like, can we repurpose it where there's some alt takes maybe that we can get that?
It's just like a slow build up until he's like, and they were called dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, and then the like introductory little animation of like this one dinosaur, then there's a bigger one of the same dinosaur, and they both get like that particular scene looks so incredibly shitty. Like it was the crappiest part of like it had just been added on as an afterthought, and they didn't even clean it up. It was like choppy, and I was like, oh my god, how did the animation get so much worse from the last movie? But then once we moved into like the actual movie, it wasn't as bad. But like that scene really scared me.
It was weird
from the 3D to like this and then to the movie.
Yeah, because it also looked like they changed the design of the dinosaurs in that first scene too. I was like,
I was
like, the long necks don't look right. What's happening here? But you're right. When they got to the main story, everything looked the same, pretty much.
Yeah, crazy.
Had we seen any CG in previous movies?
I don't think
so.
I don't think so.
This is the first time, to my knowledge.
Shots. This is what do we got here?
97
This one is 97. So they're like,
Toy Story.
Yeah.
Like, we got enough budget for one scene without any animated characters in it.
Yeah. Nothing that's going to uncanny Great Valley you, even though they're all dinosaurs anyway.
The uncanny Great Valley.
So just stars. Yeah.
It's just like, one scene that's just a bunch of circles, basically. That's easy enough, right? But yeah, we're back in the Great Valley, and things seem pretty good.
Things are pretty good, except then everything has to get all topical with the super cicada swarm.
Oh yeah,
I believe the harbingers of famine and death were called the swarming leaf gobblers.
The leaf gobblers.
Oh my god, yes.
Which is a fair enough description. I got concerned the other plagues were going to come next because I was like, if they're taking the firstborn son, Littlefoot is doomed.
I was wondering what our dino friends had done in the interim to anger the Old Testament God in this one.
Yes. Well, the last movie. Oh no, it's this movie where they start wandering in the desert.
Yeah, that's true. It's a direct
adaptation
of the Bible. You're right.
Yeah.
I love, so I guess, not much happens. There are just some funny clips. There's some funny clips I have from this intro part while they're in the Great Valley. We get lots of a ton more like dino lingo for like stupid things. My favorite part is when there's this clip. There's a moment where they make the grandpa sound so stupid. And you're just like, oh wow, dinosaurs are dumb. Okay. And let me just play this clip.
Looks like we might be in for some sky water. Oh well, it just makes things grow.
It just makes things grow, and then he's like,
I was like thinking of the looks like a little rain line from Bug's Life, but oh no, locusts.
Yeah, and then he sounds like immediately after that this happens.
Oh no, it can't be. Swarming leaf gobblers.
Swarming leaf gobblers.
I don't know why they even did that because like he should have no context for that, really.
Right.
I mean, I guess he's grandpa, so who knows what he had dealt with,
That's
back
true.
in the day.
That's true.
But like at the same time, it's like, wouldn't it have been even more scary if he didn't even know what they were? And like
Well, Grandpa used to run with some leaf gobblers, so back in the day.
There was like part of this movie where I was thinking like, oh wow, like the things that happen in this movie are a little bit more organic than the other ones. Like, because I joked last time about how I thought that some random dinosaur was going to come in and be like, have you guys heard about this mysterious island? And I was like, that didn't happen. But then I kept thinking back and be like, no, those leaf gobblers came out of nowhere. And what the fuck was that? And they literally ate everything.
Yeah.
that's a thing that could happen, though.
Yeah.
Ostensibly.
For sure.
Yeah, this Great Valley seems to be plagued with just like calamity in every single movie.
Oh my God, they can't get away from it. Is it that great? I don't know. Doesn't seem great.
Yeah.
You gotta have Sarah's dad.
That's why Sarah's dad is the way he is.
Still being racist.
He's back
Holding
again.
the line.
Yeah.
Make the Great Valley great again hat.
Yes.
Learning nothing.
My God.
I'm
Yeah,
tired
they
of you
learned nothing.
dang long necks lording your tallness over us.
He did have a surprising moment of introspection about when he like blamed Littlefoot for leading everyone away. They're like, why is it his fault? And he's like, well, it's got to be someone's fault, right?
I thought that was incredible when the the grandpa, instead of getting mad, was just like, why? He's like, it's Littlefoot's fault. And Grandpa's like, why? And then like they were like,
Because someone scapegoat. Yeah.
I'm gonna use that next time.
My ingrained biases.
That was funny because he totally was like, did not have an answer for that. It's great.
Because I learned nothing from the time of the Great Giving.
Yeah. Nobody was even sad that the leaf choppers destroyed the time of the Great Giving. Like, oh, we're not going to be able to have a time of Great Giving this year.
Yeah, they were
Off
over
to the
that.
desert for us.
They were already over that.
That time had passed.
Yeah, so I mean, like Tyler said, they very quickly are off wandering in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Just like looking around, happening upon skeletons.
Was the planet so Mars-like in any of the previous iterations?
Maybe
the volcano area, but not really.
No, there's always been more like rock features. Like it never so flat.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
always been rocks up above with innocent victims that they can murder down below.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know. They wander in the desert for a little bit and then get into another racist argument.
Yep.
And then eventually Sarah's dad, who's always the antagonist, is like, well, let's just split up forever and go our own ways. It's better that way. I'd rather be just with my daughter and no one else.
Which, by the way, I don't know what happened to the mother and the sisters. Like Ducky's mother and sisters appeared again, and Petrie's did too. But Sarah's sisters and mom are like, God. They're like divorced.
She doesn't even talk about her mom in that song later on.
I know.
Can you blame them? Like knowing what we know about Sarah's dad, I mean, they're probably
Okay, but I have to tell you something I learned about Sarah's dad while I was trying to find pictures of him for that Make the Great Valley Great Again sign. Apparently, his name, and I don't know if this is real. I'm going to wait till Tyler stops drinking water. So apparently his name in various Land Before Time wikis, and I don't know if they're going to call him this later in the series, but his name is Daddy Tops, which is like the most homoerotic dinosaur name I've ever heard.
Would you say that you're a leather daddy? Is that a thing?
Like, and it took me a while. I was like, oh, Triceratops. I get it. But like, there was two P's, and I was like, this is dirty.
Daddy Tops.
Yikes.
Incredible.
I don't know about that. That's scary.
First user to give us their 5-star review with the username Daddy Tops. You can guest on the show.
Yeah, do it.
Sure.
Oh my
So
God.
that's his name.
I can't wait
That's beautiful.
for the movie where they say Daddy Tops. Yeah. What are you up to?
By the way, I hate that Grandma and Grandpa are the kind of couple that call each other Grandma and Grandpa, even when Littlefoot is like missing and away on a mysterious island.
Yeah.
There's no time for adorability.
Yeah. I mean, the poor adults think their kids are dead for almost the entire movie.
I don't know where he is, Helen.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of surprised to see them surprised at all with these flight risk children. Like in every damn movie.
Like, they'll be fine and they'll probably come back with a better solution. Let's just wait.
Yeah. You'd think at this point the parents would just never go to sleep. They're like, I can't sleep. Every time we sleep, the kids run away. I can't do it.
Except for the lead poisoning, they don't remember.
Right, and later in the movie when Ducky's like, I can't fall asleep without my mom, I'm like, why not? You did it every other movie.
Yes. Well, I mean, in our previous episodes, we were talking about how we just want Chomper back, and I guess we get that. But ugh.
Okay, let's talk about the big water first.
Let's talk about
I was
the
like,
big
dang,
water.
you skipped like way to the almost end of the film.
I mean, it is cool that they get to the beach. I mean, we haven't seen that before. It's cool.
Leonardo DiCaprio's there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes sense that they're real dumb and they don't understand waves or salt water. That all makes sense. That checks out.
Although Ducky's a swimmer, as they've called. So I guess she's a freshwater swimmer.
Yeah, I don't think you can just throw a. Well, can you?
I don't know.
Yeah. Can you just throw a freshwater duck into the ocean?
I mean,
You certainly could try.
ethically? So they make it to the beach. There is a land bridge that forms.
Yeah, and my first thought was like, what the fuck? That's not even, is that even really an island then if it's connected to the
tides, motherfucker?
Yeah, isn't it like an isthmus or something?
Yeah, I was like,
I don't know.
I don't think that counts as an island. What the fuck?
Man. No,
I honestly thought the solution was going to be the tide was going to go down and they were going to be like, oh, and then just walk back. Like, I 100% thought
Which
this was going to be.
would have happened.
Well, no, because they said that there was that all the land was moving all the time because, whatever.
Plate tectonics was just in warp speed back then.
Right.
That's how
They
it
always try to make it seem like. Ugh,
that would explain the
this.
earthquake every 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. It's an earth shake.
Yeah.
Please.
We don't allow modern time lingo on this podcast.
They don't understand how the night sphere controls the force water that laps up on the sand beach.
They do, yeah, it's so stupid. They do call it the sun later in one of the songs, but I was
They
like,
do.
I was like, okay, I thought it was the bright circle. Come on.
Lame.
I like how
So
that
they
land-
just walk there.
Yeah. Until things get a little shaky, and then it suddenly turns into a Ninja Warrior course, complete with warped wall at the end.
Oh no! Big water.
Big water. Can we talk about this song?
Sure.
It's okay. What we've been talking about is how the songs have gotten progressively worse throughout this series. I feel like this movie might break that trend. I feel like some of these songs might be better.
I think we lucked out with one good song, in my opinion. That's all I'm going to say.
Well,
Okay.
I think the songs are better quality, but they still are like they've been plucked out of various things instead of being like a holistically balanced show where you have like an intro song and then a villain song and then a finale. You know, instead they have 2 comic relief songs and a sad ballad. Like,
Which is the 4th chapter of my autobiography, but yes.
This song made me really sad because it happens pretty late in the movie. So at this point, I was kind of like, wow, did we maybe, like, I know the Wikipedia said that all of them have songs, but maybe it's wrong. And this one doesn't have songs.
Maybe there's no songs. Yeah.
But then there's just randomly a song about why people are scared about the water. And it has amazing lyrics like this.
Big, 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 big water. It's very big, 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 big water. It's deep and dark and dangerous.
It's scary and it's dangerous, and things could rearrange us in that big water.
Like, I know you're gonna say that the fake words are bad, but I actually
Stupid.
think like they're kind of clever and at least more effort than some of what we've seen.
I guess. But then
I
you
guess
could
I
just...
can't criticize it being a big Wicked fan. I can't be like, no fake words.
Yeah.
You know, like
I was like, then you could just fake words the entire song and rhyme whatever word you want.
Strangerous.
but I think they all
Rearranger us kind of
yeah.
works.
I mean, I don't
guess.
know. They're supposed to be kids. They've always had bad grammar.
Yeah, that's true.
They are different song styles. I mean, like that's fun that they're not in this vaudeville nonsense. But then,
Oh my god,
there's some steel drum that happens. Like, I don't know if maybe they should have ventured into the territory that they actually did.
I mean, you're on an island. What would it be without steel drums?
I mean,
That was
you're right.
honestly the only thought. I was like, that must be what they thought. Otherwise, because this is just... I'll play that clip when we get to that song later, but I was just like, what? It's so tough.
So, Steve, what are you thinking so far?
I guess this is where I expected it to head. The movie, if that's what we're talking about, the series, I guess in general.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I'm also surprised with the lateness of the first song, like hearing that like the rest had become musicals.
Mhm.
And hearing how sort of bad the songs were and stuff, with the exception of some delightful eggs.
Eggs.
I was not. I was kind of surprised with a song that I guess we'll talk about later. The ballad, Always There.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is actually kind of sweet. But yeah, everything else, the sort of weird wobbly animation at times. The voices that are completely different, seemingly from film to film.
Yes.
Just sort of all pulled together, but with its charms.
Yeah, I think you missed. We had a big changeover last episode.
Yeah, we lost
last
all
entry.
the people. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got almost completely all new people for this one, for the kids.
Oh, wow.
Petrie's always been an adult, and Spike's always been Frank Welker. But I'm just making weird noises.
Do you think
But-
Frank Welker just did one session in like 1991 and they've just been milking it?
Wouldn't
Like,
surprise me.
Yeah, totally.
He's laughing all the way to the bank.
It was actually just like a blooper of him like clearing his throat a few times from another movie.
Yeah, like
They just
yeah,
bought
it's
on the cheap.
It's just Transformers
Yeah.
outtakes.
Yeah, I think Spike does a literal rut-row in this one, doesn't he? Like,
He does.
Yeah.
But doesn't speak again.
He doesn't speak, which I loved, because he
Yes.
finally spoke last movie, and I'm glad that they just didn't bring it up this time.
Totally.
Make it special. But yeah, I mean, Steve, did you know about Chomper?
I knew about him in that I listened to you guys' episode on that particular, and I read the Wikipedias as well. Did he
Right.
talk in that one?
No. Well, he was a
No.
baby. He was like literally right out the egg.
He's the only one that grows, I guess, in this series.
Yeah. Sitcom rules do not apply to Chopper.
And I guess he's bilingual too.
Yeah, smart. I mean, okay, first of all, we have to talk about the fact that they again fell for the shadow trick, and he wasn't even trying to trick them.
It was it was their own trick that they used. They used that exact trick on someone else, and then they're falling for it in this moment.
And
Like,
what is
come on, you
Chopper
guys.
doing in this moment? Is he clearing his throat? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I don't know.
But honestly, though, once they got, they realized it was him and everything, I actually thought Chopper was like really legit in this movie.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
Yes,
like,
I
he
love you. We
rules.
weren't wrong. Bring back Chopper.
Yeah.
He has the most like actual childlike voice.
He sounds like
Yes.
he sounds like a almost like a South Park baby, which I know.
Eliz, is it time for us to figure out if this is an actual child, or is that for later in the episode?
You can do it now if you want.
I would love to find out, because I'm actually very curious if this is a legitimate child.
Was a legitimate child.
Oh,
Yeah. His name was Cannon Dane Young. Cannon with 2 N's, not like your friend Cannon. But I don't know if you want to know what he's up to now or wait.
Friend of the show, Cannon, first of all. But yes, yes. What is he up to now? And I is it going to be terrifying?
Yes, I've
Oh God,
it was very terrifying. Like I was terrified.
Let's save it for later. Save it for later.
We'll save it.
No, I hate it.
Now I'm going to be stressed out the rest of the episode. What's it going to be?
So what I love about this intro is that Chomper's like, it'll be fine. And then he sees his parents and he's just like, they might eat you. So let's hide.
Yeah. Maybe you're not safe around them.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought that he was so like nice and well-meaning, but also very practical and like smart and like, yeah, he had so much more logic than any of them ever. When he put fruit and leaves on another leaf to pull it toward them, that is more engineering than any of them have had for these
I
movies.
loved the first verse of that song so much, and then I hated the second verse equally.
The Friends for Dinner one?
Friends for Dinner one. But
yeah, when he was singing, it was great. But when they started singing, I was like,
I was like, well, yeah, why would you write it this way? No, I was like, oh, this could be a really fun song of being like, hey, like they're different, but I want to be accommodating. But my main thing is that they cross this island and it ends up being like, looks like a redwood forest of some kind. And he finds a pineapple in a pine tree forest, which is the dream, but just not going to happen, unfortunately. But if it was possible back in that time, my God, take me there.
Yeah, how do you know?
You know what I don't. You got me. Why? Oh, I'm flummoxed.
Those Cretaceous pine trees.
Yes.
They just did it then.
I was
big.
I was convinced that when they first got to the island and they were like, these plants smell weird and look weird, that they were going to like eat them and start tripping out, which would have been hilarious. But sadly, that didn't happen.
No, they only had room for a steel drum song or a sitar song, not both.
Yeah, I feel now that I should have put a thinly veiled metaphor for drugs and or alcohol in as one of the things that might happen in a later sequel.
That would have been good.
Oh well. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about the bilingualness, because we brought this up. Why are Sharptooths just portrayed as languageless savages in all the other movies? And so it's very interesting when, of course, Sarah, being racist, just like her dad, is like, they don't know how to talk. And then they totally know how to talk.
Yeah.
We get subtitles and everything.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
I really like the subtitles. Yeah, I thought that was awesome. Justin posted a screenshot in our chat for the podcast that I love so much, where it was just the subtitles of the parents being like, sometimes I worry about that boy.
There's this hilarious moment where, like, during the Friends for Dinner song, that the parents walk in on Chomper gathering fruit and vegetables, and they act like they just caught him watching vegetarian porn or something. And they're like, they have all these like very humanized expressions, like, oh my God, no, he's collecting leaves.
Our son, he's a weirdo.
And then they have all these concerned faces, and then it pops up with that subtitle. Sometimes I worry about this boy. While they're like,
I just thought I was excited by all of this because it signals a self-awareness that is now in the franchise that has not been in it previously. And it's a new team for this one, a new producer, director, new writer. They got rid of the old guy. And like, there's multiple instances where like they are acknowledging how ridiculous some of this has been. They're kind of like winking, they're making fun of themselves. They do the kind of acknowledgement of all these things that happened in the past, which we usually love. And when they said, like, come on, it's Chomper, we saved him from those guys who wanted to eat eggs. I was like, what?
Yeah. What? You're acknowledging that a past has happened?
Yeah. It was incredible. It was, so I really liked that they brought that into this movie. And I don't think it was like too far over the top or anything either.
No.
Yeah, I love that this movie finally was like, we've been waiting for now 4 movies for one of them to remember things from the previous one, and this one finally does in multiple ways.
They're bringing the older films into the Land Before Time 5 cinematic universe.
That's right. Much like Fast 5 did.
True.
That's right.
Very true.
We kind of jumped around the Friends for Dinner song, but I gotta play this clip because the whole thing was so funny with the steel drum. Because Chomper's like, I'll go get you guys some food, and then they just show him like walking down a path, and then all of a sudden it's like steel drum, like dum 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 dum. And I was like, what the fuck is this? But let me just play this clip so you can hear how ridiculous it sounds.
That's not a very nice thing to do, to have friends for dinner.
Yeah.
Just the most terrible sounding. I mean, steel drum always terrible, right?
I mean, no, you're right.
I mean, you kind of want to be mad, but it's like there's nothing funnier than this joke about having friends for dinner, to serve man, or how to cook for 40
how to
humans,
cook for
or whatever.
40 humans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so classic. It never gets old.
It was like it was like a clever song, but I was just mad that it was reggae for some reason.
I mean, how else are we going to know they're on an island?
Yeah.
But like the island,
the other side, we don't even know if it's really an island.
it's like the island that they're on is not tropical in any way. So like, why?
Yeah. They're in like Oregon.
Yeah, it's just like not. I don't know. It was weird.
There was a pineapple. It was tropical as fuck, and a steel drum. That's how you know.
Like none of the dinosaurs wore sunglasses or anything.
No, that's for part 7.
Yeah.
That reminds me, there used to be, by my grandma's house in San Diego, there was a McDonald's that had a dinosaur, like a full-on like velociraptor wearing a Hawaiian t-shirt. And maybe he was from this island, and maybe it was historically accurate, Justin. You don't know.
Hey, I don't know. I wasn't there millions of years ago.
I mean, if we want to do a whole episode about different themed McDonald's, we can. But,
bonus episode for our non-Patreon subscribers.
So, on the bilingual thing, are we saying that like the vegetarian dinosaurs, they all speak English and the other ones don't?
Yes. I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah,
yes.
Or it could be a regional thing, like maybe no, because those migrating long necks spoke the same language.
Or
as
us as the audience are getting to hear English so that we understand. But the dinosaurs, if we actually heard them at this time, because this is a historical document, they would have been like rah, 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 rah. Both
right,
dinosaurs.
but they understand each other, and that's what is important.
Right.
And like you
That's
said,
true.
because Chomper had 2.5 days with Littlefoot when he was a newborn, he gets to speak both languages.
Yeah, I like that.
I like the idea that it's regional, but you're right. That is just thrown. Although it's not like I was asking for the migrating long necks to have some weird accent. So like, I'm kind of happy that didn't happen.
Hey, there is a British dinosaur later on in the film.
There is a painfully British dinosaur.
Yeah, that says all sorts of like British.
I wasn't sure
sayings.
what type of UK variant she was going for, but it was not great.
It was not good.
Gosh. Okay, wait. So when's the sad song? Is it before Friends for Dinner or after?
It's before Friends for Dinner.
Before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Before.
We totally skipped it.
It's after.
Glazed right over it.
It's after Land Before Time, Open Water, though. We forgot about this.
Yes.
Oh my God! Yeah, they try to go
yes.
back on a log, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
It worked surprisingly well for until it didn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mike had to ruin it.
It's in that moment where the mysterious island acts exactly like the one in Lost, where they just like they go out and then they somehow land back at the same island. They can't escape.
Walt!
I said this at the last episode. You got to leave on the right bearing, or you just end up
That's right.
turned around right back.
It's true.
Not
true.
Sarah's boat.
But that was great. That was great. Yeah, they crash land back because there's a swimming sharp tooth, and they crash land back in the island, and then they hear like a scary dinosaur noise in the trees, and then it's nighttime, and they're like, I can't sleep
For some reason.
Probably all the steel drums.
Right. I mean, so is this the song that you like?
This is the one that I think like, hey, we eked out like a good song in these movies.
It's a good song.
It's like it's very cute, pretty emotional, and there's at least one part where you're like, something that we've been waiting for again for these 4 movies that finally actually, like, for the tiniest moment was like, maybe this could actually pull at my heartstrings and make me tear up a little bit. But then you're like, it's The Land Before Time 5, so,
It's a justified song. It's a song that fits within, like, hey, the characters should be singing at this point.
Yeah.
Well, and it like, Littlefoot has always, not the last 3 movies, but in the first movie and now this one, he has, like, a weird kind of like mental detachment from the rest of them in that he did lose his mom and knew her, unlike Spike, who never knew. But he like in the first movie, like you see the whole thing about they're deciding who to cuddle with, and he's like off by himself, and then they all go back and forth or whatever. And in this one, the same thing kind of happens at the end of the song. He like is kind of like, well, I'm just watching over them, and I'm a part of the group, but I'm also like,
I carry this trauma.
In charge of this group, yeah. And when he sang the verse, so they're all singing about their parents, and then when he sang a verse, I thought he was just going to sing about his grandparents.
Yeah.
But when it was alluding to his mom, my jaw literally, like, I was like, what? I could not believe it, because I've been complaining about this every movie that they don't acknowledge the mom's death. Yeah. So it was great, and like. It also didn't come, he wasn't like, my mom's dead, like, so for kids who are like watching it, they're not going to like, like make that connection. It's like, oh, he's sad, just like the rest of them are sad. But, if you know, and it's very.
I mean, most kids probably just think the other ones are his mom and dad anyways. So
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
If you're not really paying attention. But yeah, I thought it was great, and he's like looking up at the stars, and the only part of that song that I didn't buy was Sarah singing about her dad, because I'm just like, her dad's a scumbag. So.
He's so full of hate.
I can't sleep without my dad's racist words.
Great,
the self-hating gay.
But it was like a really
Daddy Tops just wants to fuck.
Daddy Tops. They better actually call him Daddy Tops, or I'm going to be disappointed now.
I will show you the article. I did not make this up.
But the song is really sweet, and it's got all these like they're doing harmonies and everything.
God damn it! Now I want to write Land Before Time fan fiction where Daddy Tops goes off and finds his bliss.
Hey, we don't know that name doesn't come from fan fiction. We don't know yet for sure.
I know. We'll find out. But yeah, it's a nice song. Although it was kind of like, I mean, there's a reason the same kind of songs have been successful in movies for like ever, and yeah, like. I mean, even the Horner score and American Tail, and you're gonna think of that. So,
I think the moment too that made me think like that this song was pretty successful. I think in this movie is because later in the film when they finally get reunited, they use, instead of like leaning on the like Horner theme the entire time, they use like a orchestrated version of this song, and I was like, oh, see, this is how it should be. This is nice. And it actually is a nice theme. Yeah, it's a nice theme, like. So I was like, okay, they did a better job in this one.
This is the first movie that I think sets itself apart musically, and especially where we get a T-Rex like final battle type thing, and the actual score starts referencing the original Godzilla score. It's the and I thought that was really fun. And I was looking at this composer, and has done a bunch of work, but has also danced around some other sequel rights entries. Same gentleman who did the Beethoven animated series.
Yeah.
And some other things, but I think that I thought that the actual unique score for this entry felt distinct and actually pretty good.
I noticed that too. It was the first time that I noticed recurring themes that weren't
the James Horner.
Yeah.
And looks like we have him. This is he did The Great Giving and Journey Through the Mists, but we also have him going forward. So it is Michael Tarvaris, I believe.
Tavera?
And also most recently did all the score for Star Wars Resistance. So
yeah, legit. He's legit. So that's good at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what else happens. They have to hide in the stinky grass flowers. That was funny.
Is it? They look like roses, but I guess it's not.
Well, there's no thorns.
I mean, every rose does have its thorn. That's true.
Spike was chomping down, and I was waiting for the thorn moment, but it never came.
Yeah.
But they just smell bad, I guess.
And go ahead.
Oh, just there's the reason they were hiding there is because there's the whole plot. No, sorry. At first they hid from Chomper's parrot, and after that, later they had to hide from the next sharp tooth, the sharper tooth, who I just started calling Reptar.
I was gonna say I also wrote down Reptar because once he started moving faster, he really looked like him too.
Once the animation quality degraded, he really looked like that Gabor Cuspo animation.
Yeah.
I just like that there's that moment where Chomper's like, don't worry, you guys. There's no other sharp tooth on this island that I know of. And then immediately the next scene is like, there's another sharp tooth. And he's super mean. Yeah.
He's the one who brought the steel drum.
He's the true villain of this one, yeah.
Well, seeing as we're talking about true villains, Eliz, I think this might be the time that you tell us what Baby Chomper is up to now.
Well, I mean, I like I said, we talked about, I really liked his performance in this movie.
Yes, me too.
But Canon, Dane Young, I don't know what he did between that movie and right now, other than that he resides in Gazelle, California, which is an absolutely terrifying small town in Siskiyou County, California, which is like at the border of Oregon.
So like you're talking like 300 miles north of San Francisco.
Yeah, it's kind of close to Weed, if you've heard of Weed, maybe, but it is like it has 69 people that live there, and there are no stores or business establishments whatsoever other than the post office. There's several abandoned buildings. There is an elementary school that has 51 students and 3 teachers, but I think the students all must come in from like farms that are even more remote than the town, because I think there's only like 10 kids that actually live in the town of the 69 people or whatever. And it's like terrifying. Like if your car breaks down there, you're in a horror movie.
Are you talking about like you've driven through there and it's terrifying, or is it just
I drove through there on Google Maps and it was terrifying. Like I was scared through I was like, if we got this town in GeoGuessr, we'd be like, oh, I'm nuts. How am I supposed to know this? You know, like it was horrifying. There was like no signs, no nothing. Anyways, but
I don't want to shame people for being rural.
Okay, fine. Well, that's where he's from. But also on July 19th, 2019, he was arrested for driving under the influence with a passenger and had a blood alcohol level of 0.08, which is exactly the limit. So it sucks for him.
Oh, bummer.
But don't drive drunk, especially in an area where there's no hospitals for at least 25 miles.
Oh, God. So, yeah, terrible.
Closest grocery store is 11 miles away.
So Chomper got a DUI.
I thought he was going to be a murderer, so that's not so bad.
Yeah, I thought he murdered somebody.
And so the only other child star check-in that I have, because, like we said, we did lose Candace Hudson and Scott McAfee and Heather Hogan, who had done the last 3 films. They all left. But Scott McAfee's younger sister, Andy, I think, she takes over as Sarah, even though he's out. and we get Littlefoot. The singing voice of Littlefoot is Thomas Dekker from Sarah Connor and other things. But so he did the singing, but the voice of Littlefoot, we get a one movie wonder kid who just comes in for this movie named Brandon LaCroix. And he is now the main proprietor of a business called...
He's the heirs of the LaCroix fortune?
No, I mean, that'd be pretty cool if he was. I mean, maybe he is, but his business is Fire Rising Wands, and he makes custom Harry Potter fancy wands and posable fantasy art dolls, several of which are kind of terrifying. And
what size are the posable fantasy art dolls?
Not humanoid.
Yeah.
Like strange woodland creatures from a fantasy novel.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And he had a cameo, and he made all the wands for the fan-made Harry Potter prequel called Severus Snape and the Marauders, which has 10 million views on YouTube, and I did not know about.
Wow.
Today.
Awesome.
So those are the only two people that are just going to be here for this movie, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, eventually back in the movie land, the Reptar Sharptooth eventually finds them, okay? He doesn't care about the smelly grass or whatever. Finds them. They go running around. They run back past this log that they used to cross like a ravine or whatever. And the log falls, and they're on the other side of the ravine, and they're like, nah, you can't get over here, stupid dinosaur. And then they show like a wide shot of this, like, the gap of this ravine, and I'm like, it does not look very big. It looks like the Sharptooth could have stepped across the other side. And they're over there just like, nah.
But then it turns out that they couldn't license the Chariots of Fire theme as this
slow motion
leaps across in slow motion.
Yeah. And they're immediately under attack again, of course.
Yeah.
It's funny, right before that leap, I don't know if it was just that I was anticipating it, but like the shot of the animation, you see the Sharptooth, and it looked like his legs were just super jacked, like they wanted you to anticipate him leaping over this with no issue.
Yeah. It was such a weird sequence. I don't know.
I love the idea of just like, no, it's foreshadowing. It's not out of nowhere. Look how buff we drew his legs.
There was a moment, I think it was when they were running from Chomper's shadow. It wasn't running from the Sharptooth, but I like that they acknowledged the fact that Littlefoot is like bottom heavy and Sarah and Spike are like more balanced, because they ran up to like some log or something, and Littlefoot was like, like he could not, like lift himself over it, and Sarah had to like headbutt him, like give him a boost so that he could make it over, and then her and Spike just easily jumped over it, and I was like, whoa, like look at that.
I do gotta say, these animals that are not adapted for deep water or big water, as it were, if Chomper and Littlefoot ended up in the ocean crashing up against the rocks there, just dead.
Oh yeah,
straight
for
up
sure.
dead.
As soon as they fell in, I was like, what is even going to happen here?
Yeah.
I mean, they had water in the Great Valley. We've seen them splashing around and playing in it, so I think they might at least have the instinct to like flail.
Not that deep though. They are not buoyant.
Yeah, but I don't think that they would be able to like. When Littlefoot went in at the end, that was the one that was really like over the top.
D-E-D dead.
Yeah. That and when Sarah was getting attacked by the shark.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The water Sharptooth.
Yeah.
I liked that. So they are running away from this, Sharptooth.
Run around, as it were.
Yeah, and they're about to get killed at this cliff or whatever, and then Chopper's parents show up, and I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna kick the shit out of this dude. But instead, the parents get the shit kicked out of them, and there's blood in this movie, you guys. There's blood.
Yes.
They show scratches, and I thought, like, what I thought was gonna maybe happen but this movie isn't probably good enough for that. But I thought there's going to be some mirroring moment where, like, Chopper is going to see one of his parents get killed by a shark tooth, just like
Hulk out.
No, just like have that same kind of experience, like Littlefoot, and they were like bond over that or something. But
yeah, except like not everybody was there watching. When Littlefoot's mom
That's
died.
true.
Like it was just him. Like,
but there were other
other
dinos
child.
around. There were other dinos.
That would have been good. You're right.
But
instead, too much seal drum.
Yeah. Instead, they all go in the water and somehow survive.
Well, there's a British dinosaur that saves them.
Yeah, that's right.
This monster.
They learn. We find out that the kids haven't learned about stranger danger yet. Because she has
climbing my aquatic van, children.
Her first line is this.
You children look tired. Can I give you a ride?
And the way she says it, like, you children look tired.
God, I didn't even think of it like that.
Got all these tree stars just lying around.
Yeah. Can I give you a ride?
Yikes.
Just come back to my little inn. We have a warm oven. You can do chores, and I'll fasten you up.
Oh, yes. But yeah, she was like some sort of British dinosaur for some reason.
Yeah. Which, like, related to Ducky, I guess?
I thought they were trying to make a Loch Ness Monster joke.
Yeah. Her name was Elsie, so there's something there.
Yeah.
But we saw Plesiosaur in the last movie.
And she says
Or
things
2
like,
movies ago.
yeah, she's
That
like,
was a sharp tooth one, right?
it was a bad one, yeah. This one was nice. And she's all like, across the pond, as we say, or didn't she say like, don't Terry or something like that? We don't want to be
Terry,
late.
watch the eyes. Okay. And they all
I
climb
thought
up
she
her
was trying
head.
to do Irish, and then I realized that the Loch Ness Monster should be Scottish.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it's really not
And
either
it's
one of
not
those.
A light British is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. And there's also this, like, she wouldn't shut up about how hot Littlefoot's grandpa was.
Yeah, she had a major dino lady boner for Littlefoot's grandpa, even though he is clearly married, and she like met
Littlefoot's grandpa fucks, okay?
She was like, she kept going on and on about like, oh gosh, if only he wasn't married, we could swim in the water together. It's so great in the water, isn't it?
Well, she doesn't even acknowledge that he's married. She goes, "Oh, if only he had fins, we'd get along real nice." It's like she's right there, man.
Yeah. She's always there.
always there. He almost like died from being old last movie. Now he's just like fine.
Yeah,
now he's out.
fine.
He's out looking for random strange.
Now he's full of vim and vigor.
Well, she describes him as like a very talkative or something like that.
The night flower is like Dino Viagra or something.
That's right,
Like, he's good to go now.
He's so chatty, that one. But
yes.
yeah, there's this hilarious scene at the end then when all the parents are just like, well, I guess they're dead. We're just gonna have to move on with our lives. And Daddy Tops, I guess, doesn't he say something like, what, are they gonna rise out of the water?
Yeah.
Well, at first he's like, "Well, what's even the point if our kids aren't here?" Finally appreciating his daughter for the first time in 5 movies.
Yeah. He's like, well, we better split up so I can be alone again.
Also, I thought that place looked great. Like, why do they even need to bother going back to the Great Valley?
Yeah.
Like, live by the beach.
Right?
I think they're just used to getting displaced by like terrible cataclysm.
I guess.
This place doesn't have any potential cataclysm.
Well, they say like multiple times, like, "Oh, we found enough food for years here."
Yeah.
And then I think, like, if I'm not mistaken, the end credits, they're just nonchalantly traveling back to Great Valley.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, it's gonna be the next movie is gonna start in the Great Valley.
Definitely.
There's no sense, I guess, of exactly how long that took them to go back, but.
Right.
Well, Littlefoot won't
find
change
out.
ages.
That's
so-
right. I think it was the next day.
I mean, I'm still hoping for a weird, awkward puberty mustache Littlefoot, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
I guess, are we at our rating system o'clock?
Well,
is that where we're at?
Yeah, but before that, I wanted to read a couple hilarious reviews of this movie that I found online. Just because, I don't know, it seemed like people were angry online about this movie on both sides.
So, what are the sides?
Well,
parents
people
and kids?
No, people being angry that the movie angry that the movie sucks, and then people being angry at the people that are saying that the movie sucks because they liked it so much. So let me give you a review of
steel drum against steel.
Yeah, exactly. This person is angry because they hate the movie. It says, "I never want to see that fucking baby T-Rex ever again, let alone hear him talk, let alone hear him sing." 1 star. And that's a super reviewer on Rotten Tomatoes.
I love how singing was a step over the line. It's like Sarah, Littlefoot, Ducky, they can all sing, but not my chomper.
And here's a 10 out of 10 review from someone called Tormented Ducky on IMDb.
I don't want to see that person's DeviantArt page.
No thanks. The title of a review is "How Are You Gonna Bag on a Kids Movie?" And here's the review. It says, "Seriously?
Okay.
What's the point of trying to insult a children's movie? That's right, there is no point. Just because it's not educational because your kid isn't watching some giant child molesting purple dinosaur doesn't mean that it still isn't a movie. And technically, they are educational movies. Just because they don't teach your kid math or who started World War I, but it teaches your child about friendship and being honest and all that other bullshit every child should know. Why don't you go bag on movies that actually deserve your stupidity, such as Bad Boys 2 or Anal Sluts 9? You're a poopy face and I don't like you."
Wow.
That's it.
I like
That's
how
it.
Bad Boys 2 made it in there.
I know.
Yeah, what's wrong with Bad Boys 2? That
guess-
was great.
I guess
Also,
it's
Bad Boys 2 is on the same platform as, I assume, actual movie Poopy Sluts 9.
I think he's referring to this fake porn in South Park.
it was Anal Sluts 9.
Backdoor
I
Sluts
see.
9
That's
is the
true,
one
yeah.
they returned the video in South Park. But anyways,
You said poopy sluts. That's gross. Okay, wait. There's one last one. This one is just kind of a neutral, half a star. It says okay.
Neutral.
He says, Dammy G says, okay. Not everything comes in time. I'm sure the asteroid will kill them next time. That one wasn't angry. It just, that's what I meant. It wasn't angry. Just kind of like,
oh my God.
This movie sucks.
oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So there you go. Well, let's do the rating system now.
I mean, how many British dinosaurs would you give the Land Before Time?
How many?
5?
How many sort of British dinosaurs?
How many kind of British dinosaurs would you give Land Before Time 5, The Mysterious Island?
Well, you guys, I'll go first here. I was fully prepared. I made a whole I grabbed a whole sound clip for this because I was like, I'm gonna use this sound clip when I do my review, and here's what it was.
I do not like this.
which was in the movie, but you know what? I do like this. I'm on an upward trend here for the Land Before Time sequels. I'm gonna give this one a 5 sort of British dinosaurs out of 10, and I think that's up from the first couple were 3, last one was 4, this one's 5, and I think a lot of it has to do with like we mentioned multiple times throughout the review here, that this finally is the sequel we've been waiting for to reckon with the past at least a little bit. Although I don't know why they didn't call it like Chomper's Return or something and not like The Mysterious Island.
Chomper's Revenge.
Because
you spoiled it.
I guess, but like he's on the fucking cover of the movie, so it doesn't really matter. And the island is not really all that mysterious, and they don't really make that big of a deal out of it, I feel. But it wasn't like The Mists, Okay. But anyways,
yeah, there was no Tom Jane. There was no Desmond. 0 stars.
I was just, I felt like this movie made a little bit more sense than the other ones. It had more emotion. There was one song that I thought is like, okay, this song was actually pretty good, and I wouldn't be like, fuck this song, I don't want to hear it ever again. Yeah, I just think that they did a better job. Like someone, like you said, someone took over, Charles Grosvenor or whoever took over this directing and producing from the last guy, and it sounds like they actually watched at least the first movie and I guess the second movie as well, and put that into this one. So I think it gets a little bit better score from me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back up as well because I think I went to 5 for 2, so I'll go to 6 for this one. I liked it a lot better than the last two that we did. It was just so much better. I mean, like we said, the animation, while not great, is steadily getting, tiny bit better and better every time. The songs were much better. I loved the self-referential, a few jokes like for the adults, about like the bilingual, because the kids can't read the hilarious subtitles. Mm-hmm. So like that's for the parents and the older kids. So that's great. Just the acknowledgement of character development in the past was amazing. So
Eliz, as our resident Disney expert, I do have a question. Do you think that the animation quality is getting better because 2D animators are getting laid off year by year from Disney at this point?
First of all, I am an employee of Disney, not related to this at all, but my opinions don't have to do with anything. But actually, I just think that like the technology was getting
I think that's
a little bit better. Yeah. And because it's still not that Korean people couldn't have worked for Disney then, but it's still completely animated in Korea. Okay. Like you could just look at the credits and it's like everybody's got a Korean three-word name. So yeah, but this is a huge step up in my opinion.
The streets.
Yes.
I'm gonna give this 5 as well. I do think that if Chomper had been introduced in 1, that this is the first actual sequel where the story moves forward. We dealt with 3 movies where it was like, do we need to leave the Great Valley? Where it's like they leave, they do it, they wander. Like things actually have to happen in this that do not happen in the previous films. Plus, steel drum. How can you complain? I don't understand what Justin's problem is. So yeah, I'm going to give it 5 slightly British dinosaurs.
Steve, what about you?
What is it out of? Is it we out of 10?
Whatever your heart desires, but usually 10.
Okay. I'll go ahead. I'm going to agree with 6 because I was expecting like a complete dumpster fire, based on the nature of when you get to the 5th damn sequel. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that bad. It had its like dumb moments for sure, but no more dumb than I've seen in like movies made for children. It did have that nice song. The performances were solid enough. I feel like I'm intrigued enough to see what else happens to these dinosaurs, but I'm not intrigued enough to continue this journey beyond with you guys.
Oh no!
Sure fucking hope this isn't the high point.
You're just gonna ditch us? You're just gonna ditch us?
I'll keep listening.
Well, no, yeah. Steve's just gonna. He decided that we can't find any tree stars. We have to go our separate ways.
Yeah.
That's right. That's true.
They call me Daddy Tops.
I appreciate you waiting till I took my sip of water before telling me that. It would have been bad. So next week, do we know where we're heading? Do we know what our subtitle is?
Well, I was going to say...
I'm afraid we'll never see Littlefoot again.
Don't say that, dear. Of course we will.
Because there's more Land Before Time. We're only at number 6 next week with The Secret of Saurus Rock.
Oh.
Okay. They're continuing.
Is it a 4-toed statue?
Yeah, that's right. They're continuing the secret, mysterious. Oh, what's happening?
Saurus Rock.
That actually reminded me of that hilarious moment in this movie where there was somehow a rock that looked exactly like a T-Rex. They were like, ah! And then it showed that it was just a rock like that had exact teeth of it. It was weird. So stupid. But yeah, the secret of Saurus Rock. I don't know. What do you guys think the secret's going to be?
Daddy Tops.
I don't know. They'll touch it and be transported into the Scottish Highlands. Or something. I don't know.
There can only be one.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll find out.
You think they're going to see it and they're going to be like, "Wow, this must have been constructed by the cave dinosaurs from a really long time ago. Dinosaurs were here before us."
They're going to discover ancient man, and we're going to find out it was the money in it came from the creationists movement.
Yes,
that's right.
I would love it.
That is one of our predictions. We said, will man ever emerge as part of this?
All along the Watchtower is going to play, and there's just going to be a supercut of robots dancing.
Yeah. The secret could just be that, like, Grandpa is a sculptor, and that's what he did. He just made one. He made a self-sculpture, yeah.
Grandpa's Daddy Bottoms. That's the secret.
Daddy Bottoms.
Hey. Don't besmirch the good name of Grandpa.
Grandpa.
That's not besmirching. They're in love. It's fine.
He doesn't want to be in love with a racist, like the biggest jerk in the tribe.
You know what? Love finds a way. Okay?
That's true. That's true.
That's why he's so bitter. This is, the separation just left him in shreds.
True. That could be.
And he hates himself.
Well, I guess until next time, friends. Eliz, where can people get in touch with us?
Yeah, you can email us at sequelrights@gmail.com or find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights. And if you want to donate to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in support of the 100 Club, which Tyler and I are on, to raise money for cancer research and patient services, there's escape games, there's 5Ks, there's all sorts of cool ways to get involved. And you can check it out at my link, which is bit.ly/Eliz hates cancer, and Tyler's link is too long and complicated, but you can eventually find it from mine. So that's bit.ly/Eliz hates cancer.
And please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars goes a long way until having other people find us. I would love to see in your reviews what you think future song titles might be for this franchise. If there's some that we love, we will definitely read them on the air.
There better be a Saurus Rock song next week. We'll see. Steve, thanks for being here with us this week, man.
Hey, happy to be here. It's no one I'd rather take this journey on the mysterious island with.
It's the ferry to the mysterious island.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to plug? Is there anywhere you'd like people to follow you?
Not a ton of stuff. I guess I've got an Instagram. Who invited Steven?
With a V?
Yes. It's the true spelling. We reject the PH.
Nice.
But yeah, maybe I'll see you on campus.
There you go.
Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, I think that brings us to the end of this week's episode. So tune in next week as we try to find out the secret of Saurus Rock.
When the sun went down and everyone was sleeping, if I heard a sound like things around me creeping, she would wrap her tail around me and tell me, don't be scared. And I knew that I was safe because she's always there. When the storms would come and things would seem so bad, and I'd want to cry almost, I'd listen to my dad. He'd promise that the rain would pass, the day would soon be fair, and I never was afraid because he's always there. Always there. Someone you can count on to comfort you. Always there, like like it was yesterday. She would hold me close, and then I'd hear her say, you know I'll never leave you. You can find me everywhere. In the morning light, the evening star, I'm all